incredible entrepreneurs. I had an opportunity to meet most of them and also to read up on their pitches, and I think they'll be even better here in person. Before we get started, I want to bring up Ms. Kim Keenan, who's the President and CEO of MMTC, to say a few words.
Thank you. This is the best, okay? So this is like our favorite thing, and last year was like our test, but this year, we're really in full swing, and this would not be possible without our sponsors. I'm going to say them up front: AT&T, BIA, Kelsey, Comcast, and then silver sponsors: Charter Communications, National Association of Broadcasters, NCTA, Urban One, and Verizon, and then of course our bronze sponsors: BET, Motion Picture Association of America, Net Communications, Politic 365, SNL Kagan, T-Mobile, and Viacom. And I wanted to do that really fast because another person that we couldn't do this without is the queen of the pitch competition, and that's Darissa. I would like her to stand up so that you know her. She makes this happen, and we want people to know that. So I am just so excited to do this second pitch competition because we really, just to give you sort of a look back, last year's winners are a real testament to that. And I think we have a couple of them here. Our first place winner, Dr. Charlene Brown. Is she here? I thought she was going to be here. I can't see with all the lights. But anyway, she was going to be here. And then also Jay Jackson, the CEO of Rise Interactive. He was the People's Choice Awardee. And our other awardee, he always comes to everything, but I think he had an out-of-town commitment because he's working on his app. So we are so proud of them, and we are just hoping to grow this and make it bigger, better, faster, because it is so important that we have a place where we uplift people who are trying to do it on their own, who are trying to create their own entrepreneurial enterprise, and who are using technology and the internet to make their businesses a success. I think that's the real thing I want to leave people with, is that we don't just want to be consumers. When you see people of color, we shouldn't just be thinking to ourselves, we're going to buy that next phone, it's coming out next week. No, we should be thinking to ourselves, we could create the next great whatever that thing is. I always call it the X factor. So that's why this is so important to us. And how can we be about access to capital if we're not about handing out some money to some of these people who really need the help, or who just need, the truth of it is, we don't give enough money for people to, like to be like, we're going to kill them, we got to get in there. We give enough money to say, keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. You can make it. You can make it, and there are people who believe in you and care about where you're going. And we keep in touch with our winners. They keep in touch with us. So that's really what this is about. This is about giving that push to people, because we know that for people of color, getting access to capital, they would have an easier time getting hit by a car. And that's really sad and scary in this world, when people who have created things are having trouble getting that money because they didn't go to the school that the people went to, or they, don't know the people, or they don't look like the people who are getting access to capital. And that's why it's so important that we have this competition and give people a chance to be somewhere where people say, yes, what you're doing is good. Yes, and we had more people this year apply. I mean, this is only our second year, but we actually had the number more than double. And that says it all about how many people are out there who really just need a boost. So for that, we're giving away $5,000 today to our grand prize winner. But we, like I said, we're going to push. I'm going to push next year. We're going to try to play with that number, but the grand prize winner today will get $5,000, and our People's Choice winner will get $1,000. You better stop me, Darissa, in case I get caught up and say some numbers that aren't right. And the second place winner gets $22,000. That's look at $2,000. $2,000. Oh Lord! I'll be the broke the budget. They'd be like, Kim, how come MMTC didn't have food at the reception? Oh well, oops, Thank you so much.
Let's give a round of applause again for Kim. Her and her team have been doing incredible work, first with coming up with the idea to have a pitch competition, as part of the Access to Capital and Telecom Policy Conference, which happens here annually in Washington, D.C. I was so excited to be asked to host the event last year, and really excited to come back and join everybody again this year. For those of you who I have yet had the opportunity to meet, my name's Brandon Andrews. I lead a nationwide casting tour for ABC's Shark Tank, focused on bringing more diverse ideas and more diverse voices to the show. In addition to being an entertaining show, Shark Tank and other business shows have a responsibility to educate, and it's hard to educate and inspire folks if you don't have folks that look like you on the screen, pitching their businesses, sharing their life stories, and eventually, hopefully, getting deals. And so I travel around the country, hear pitches from thousands of entrepreneurs every year. And I'm really excited, never more excited, to hear pitches from entrepreneurs than I am to hear from them right here in Washington, D.C. Many people don't know that literally every season of Shark Tank, we've had an entrepreneur from the D.C. area, and in some seasons, we've actually had more than one entrepreneur. We just had an event for Guard Llama, which is a personal safety device. They were on Shark Tank Season 8, which just ended about a month ago. We had a watch party for them at a WeWork White House here in Washington, D.C., and we literally had 5 or 6 local Shark Tank alums that were there and attended, and it was really a exciting thing, one, for me to be able to reconnect with some folks that I'd seen go through the process, but then really, really encouraging when you talk about the local entrepreneurial ecosystem right here in Washington, D.C. D.C. is known for many things. Entrepreneurship is not usually the first thing that comes out of somebody's mouth when you say Washington, D.C. However, there's certainly entrepreneurs right here, and we certainly, again, have some incredible entrepreneurs here in the room. Before we get started with pitching, and I don't want to be too long with it, I want to introduce all of you to our wonderful judges. When I say your names, judges, if you'll stand up and just give everybody a wave. Again, to Kim's point, our incredible judges have provided support necessary so that we can give out, yes, the $5,000 grand prize today, but also so that we can be here in this room and continue to support entrepreneurs from diverse backgrounds. So our first judge, I'll start on my right. In your left, we have Aaron Ting, who's from Comcast. Aaron was with us last year. Next, we have Mrs. Estrella Kramer, from UPS, who handles supplier diversity. Just hold your applause at the end. We'll give them all a big round of applause at the end. Then we have, of course, Ms. Kim Keenan, who's, again, the president and CEO of MMTC. And last but certainly not least, we have Mrs. Pia D. Wilson Bodie, who's the executive director of the Intel Foundation. Give all these folks a round of applause. Not only for being here with us today, but also for the incredible work that they personally and their organizations collectively are doing to support more diversity in not just entrepreneurship, but diversity in supplier diversity, diversity in their workforces. All of these companies certainly have commitments to that, and they certainly should be applauded. Next thing before we get started, let me explain to you the rules for today. So as Kim mentioned, there will be several prizes, a first prize, a second prize, and then there will be a People's Choice. You will have the opportunity to actually vote on the People's Choice. So if you have not yet downloaded the conference app, there is an MMTC conference app. Please go ahead and download that app, and through that app you'll be able to vote for the People's Choice winner before we finish this pitch competition today. Again, if you haven't downloaded the conference app, go ahead and do that so that you can participate in our audience vote and our People's Choice contest here at the end of the competition. Next, I want to explain to you the rules. Entrepreneurs will come on this stage. They can take the podium, or they can stand in the middle of the stage and take the handheld mic and pitch their business. They will have 3 minutes to walk us through their business and through their business model, to wow us, and then we'll give our judges 3 minutes for Q&A. After the 6 minutes total is done, we'll transition, and the next entrepreneur will come up and pitch. Any questions about that? Everybody understand the rules? All right, so I am, again, really excited to get started here today with the pitch competition. The first group that we're going to have come up is Remodel Mate. I know Mr. Chad Hall is the founder and CEO of Remodel Mate. They're going to come up here and pitch in just a second. Well, here's Chad right now. Give him a chance. give them a minute to get settled and walk up here, and then we'll get started with our competition. While Chad is getting ready, I want to go over a couple of things that I go over with entrepreneurs all across the country. Passion is definitely the most important part of your pitch today, and that's really for any public pitch competition, whether you're pitching for Shark Tank or pitching for Thunderdome or pitching here at the MMTC Capital Pitch Competition. We want to see and know from the way you physically present yourself and from the sound of your voice that you are passionate about solving the problem and taking advantage of the market opportunity that your business was created to take advantage of. And I think the next important thing is traction. All investors want to see what have you done so far and what you've done so far. What does it predict about what you'll be able to do in the future? Traction means something different for every entrepreneur, for every brand. It can be sales, although a lot of companies that are getting investments are pre-revenue, and some of them don't have any sales, which is completely fine if that's the way your business model works. Traction can also be user acquisition. Traction can be intellectual property. Have you filed for a patent? Do you have a provisional? Do you have a patent? Do you have a trademark? Have you started that process? Traction can also be market research. So if you remember those two things, I think passion and also traction, being able to define it in the way that you define it and deliver it clearly and simply, then all of you will put yourselves in a great position to be able to pitch here successfully at the MMTC Pitch Competition, and also will put yourself in a great position to be able to pitch your business to customers, to bankers, or to other investors in another space. So is everyone ready to kick off our pitch competition? Can we get a round of applause for our entrepreneurs? Okay, are we ready in the back? Yeah? Okay, thumbs up. And Chad, come on up here. Now, you can use the podium or you can use the handheld, whatever you'd like to do.
I'll go handheld.
Okay, here, let's switch up. All right, so you'll take this, and your presentation will be here and there. You'll have 3 minutes, so give us your name, the name of your business, and then they'll start the clock.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chad Hall. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of RemodelMate. And I'd like to tell you guys why nobody in here should buy a house. My friend Carlos, over 2 years ago, reached out to me and said that he absolutely hated the experience with dealing with a contractor to turn his house into a home. And the real reason is because no matter what the project is, the home improvement industry is known to be one that has a lack of transparency, dishonest contractors, and in general, broken promises. And what's worse is that you guys have 3 options that kind of suck. You can either rely on reviews that can be removed by contractors for the right price. You can spend a lot of your own time doing a lot of research in an attempt to find the right contractor for the job. Or like most people, you can just put off that project one more time. And that is a problem that we wanted to solve. So RemodelMate matches freelance contractors with local homeowners so that we can match them to contractors for immediate help on major renovations like windows, roofing, siding, doors, floors, kitchens, bathrooms, and a lot more. Now, while we are off to an early start, we've only been in business for 10 months. When we applied for this competition, we only had $37,000 in sales. And right now, we've already doubled those sales in Q3, as in 19 days, we've already closed another $36,000 in sales. And we believe that by taking the most customer-centric approach to home improvement, we've been able to take a process that was otherwise stressful and made it a delightful experience for our homeowners. Our team of ex-home improvement salespeople and real estate professionals like my co-founder in the back are excited about launching new markets and completing more projects for homeowners like you. But we need your help. If there are any homeowners in the room, come and talk to us I see you. If there are any homeowners in the room, then we'd love to talk to you afterwards in the reception. And for any investors in the room, we'd love your help to blow out our distribution and marketing channels, as well as scale up our supply and demand so that we can take this nationwide. Again, my name is Chad Hall. I'm the co-founder and CEO of RemodelMate, and I appreciate all the questions.
Incredible. Give Chad a round of applause. We'll stay up here for a second. So now we'll have 3 minutes for our judges to ask Chad. I'll start down here with Pia. Do you have a question?
So thank you, Chad. Quick question. What is the vetting process to ensure that the contractors are reputable? And second, do I get two? Okay, great. The contractors, are they insured?
So thank you so much for that question. All of our contractors are licensed, insured, and bonded where applicable. Bondage is not necessary in every single state. But we do most of our vetting through an organization called NARI. It's kind of like the IOC for the Olympics. So it's the governing body for contractors who have to be in business for at least 20 years, 0 unresolved complaints with the Better Business Bureau, and of course licensed, insured, and bonded.
So what is it that makes the experience of using your service, you described it as like wonderful or amazing, and I want to, because I had some repairs done, it's not wonderful, nor is it amazing. So I want to know how you make it wonderful and amazing.
For sure, and we're sorry that you had a bad experience in the past. We'd love to change that. RemodelMate at its core is a demand fulfillment platform. So you would come to our website and say that I'm looking to get a kitchen renovation done, and you would be able to say, I already have my floors, cabinets, countertops, and my backsplash ideas in place. Then you're able to connect with a contractor, or many contractors, who disclose their daily labor rates. So for kitchens, we have a crew that will do $600 a day. The average kitchen renovation takes 10 days. So right off the bat, you know that the labor is going to be $6,000. The total price of the project is then determined based on how much your materials cost. In the event that you don't know where to find your materials, or you don't want to go and find your own materials, we also have a concierge service that will walk you through those steps for you. The big wow, I guess, is that all of our projects have been completed on time and on budget compared to some of the horror stories that you guys are probably familiar with.
On time, on budget, that's good.
It's incredible. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'd love to know, so I think I'm aware of at least a couple other services that are trying to get into this space. I think Who's is one of them. We'd love to know, like, what do you think your competitive advantage is?
Yeah, so I think our competitive advantage kind of ties into the fact that we're demand fulfillment. So there are tons of other home improvement marketplaces in the industry. Angie's Home Advisor, Thumbtack, Porch, but they're all lead generation sources. So over the course of the year, 28 million projects are completed. 7 million of those are started online, and then they have to be taken offline because all you're getting is some contact information. So it's a better yellow book. Versus ours is, I'm ready to get started, and I can get started today, tomorrow, a week from now, and I know exactly how much it's going to cost. There isn't any friction in the experience from, I'm ready to get started, to, let's go.
Thanks. So can you expand a little bit about your revenue model, how that works?
Absolutely. So our revenue model is a rate take business model where we take 20% of every contract that's generated through our platform. And I think I'm out of time, but
Go ahead and finish.
that compares to Angie's Home Advisor, that the contractors are paying for leads with no guarantee that they'll actually convert to new jobs, versus we're able to charge a premium because our contractors know that if I take this job, I'm going to earn money.
Thank you.
It's incredible. Give Chad another round of applause. All right, and next, we'll give our judges a couple of seconds to tabulate, but we'll have Darius Quarles of Bro Capital come up, and Deshauna Spencer of Quelly TV will be on deck. Darius, you want to use the podium? You want to use the handheld? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is
Oh, wait,
Darius.
wait, hold on. We want to let our judges finish tabulating.
Okay.
Always be pitching. Always be ready. Always be ready. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Always be ready.
Yeah. So my buddy, my friend and brother, Rodney Sampson was here. Some of you may know Rodney. Years ago, I did casting for Shark Tank and for a few other business shows, so definitely want to give homage to him in his absence. He's moved on, and of course is a partner at Tech Square and has had Opportunity Hub for several years, but he did incredible work moving the ball forward and really getting us started on the right track with growing and diversifying the pipeline. And so he, at Tech Square, just got $1 million investment down in Atlanta, and he's doing incredible stuff, but definitely want to pay him his due, because certainly I wouldn't be here without him while we're waiting.
Judges, you ready? Ready. All right, so you'll give us your name, the name of your business, and then the clock will start. You'll have 3 minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Darius Quarles, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Bro Capital. Would you believe me if I told you that 2 out of every 3 black millennials could not afford a $1,000 emergency if they had to handle it right now? It's true. Just 4 short years ago, when I was graduating college, came from a poor household, was a first-generation college student, I was one of those millennials. I wouldn't have been able to handle a $1,000 emergency. And judges, that is why I'm here today to tell you about Bro Capital, the first fintech company offering a software solution to assist black millennials in managing their finances via savings automation, peer crowdsourced financial educational content, as well as offline and online peer interaction. What we found is that 7 out of 10 black millennials self-report, that their personal financial situation is not healthy. Bro Capital has found through our data that this is due to something we call the financial treadmill, a cycle where money comes in for the black millennial, then it goes right back out. Money comes in, and it goes right back out. We solved this issue by inserting ourselves in that in and out space, that void, essentially offering them an easy way to do the very first thing that's important in any financial wealth building plan, and that is asset accumulation. We do this in 3 ways. First, via savings automation. A user onboards to our platform and they select an amount that they want automatically taken out of their account every 2 weeks. This generally is a small amount. For our beta users, this has been $50 every 2 weeks. Then we partner that up with peer crowdsourced educational content. So the users on our platform are actually creating content for other users that they think would be relevant to help them along their financial journey. And then we pair this along with online and offline interaction. This actually is rooted in research out of Harvard that shows that financial behavior is heavily modified via peer behavior. So if your friend is on a savings plan, you're more likely to stay along track with your savings plan if you're doing it alongside them. So we leverage this throughout all layers of our platform. We've generated revenue via a B2C subscription model thus far. For our beta users, which we've been running a beta group for the past 6 months, we only offered the premium tier to the far right. In only 8 months, we've generated $17,000 in revenue via our B2C subscriptions, as well as a partnership with a major Fortune 500 entity. But in the long run, we also think there's a B2B play with all of this relevant data that we're gathering for this very specific population. Our team is made up of a wonderful set of Morehouse graduates, myself also being Chief Technology Officer, graduate of the University of Pennsylvania as well, graduate school, and in addition to being a veteran entrepreneur. Beyond this, I'm here to talk about the $5 billion opportunity that Bro Capital represents and the fact that it sits within a much larger $150 billion opportunity. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Give him a round of applause.
All right, now we'll have 3 minutes for questions from our judges. Give them a second to wrap their minds around this $1 billion opportunity.
So since you didn't tell us what it was. Oh.
So go.
I need my mic.
Grab
I'm
the
sorry.
mic.
I was so excited. I was just going to, just all those billions, you know. I've been asking people for money for so long. I got caught up. No. So what is the $5 million, the $5 billion opportunity wrapped in the $148 million? I remember that number.
$150 billion represents the financially underserved population in the United States. So this is anyone we would consider to be underbanked or not fully served by traditional financial services. Huge opportunity, and it's sort of it's spread out across many industries. So it includes the insurance industry, it includes retail banking, so on and so forth. We sort of sit in that area of what we would call sort of financial management, as well as sort of software that assists in creating financial plans.
Yeah, Aaron, go ahead.
Yeah, I would love to know. So you have 3 pillars to your business. So I think the one that I'm a little bit confused on still is the savings automation piece. Yes. So what is that doing that my bank couldn't already do for me? And where is that money going? Like, is it held in trust? Are you managing it?
The very interesting thing about these 3 things is that if you sort of isolate them, the same value isn't created. So if it was savings automation alone, yes, I think it's very valid. Your bank could do that, or you could do it with the bank. The problem is with this population we're serving, they don't utilize the service with their traditional bank, right? This is why that financial treadmill sort of happens. They can easily do it with any retail bank. What our platform does is specifically set the target to say, this is a part of the process. So it's not up to the user whether or not they're going to use that feature. That's a core component of our platform. And so we set that money to the side for the user that then accumulates over time. And so that's why it's important to sort of have that automation, because it sort of sits alongside their regular savings or checking account that they would have at a bank.
So I think I get that, but I mean, specifically, what would you intend to do with the money? Or if I were to sign up and use it, is my expectation that you're going to grow that for me? Or
No.
is the idea just that I want to create this behavior where I'm saving?
It's more so that's what the first piece is. And then that opens us up to the education where members are actually exchanging information about how do you then grow that. So we try to work with our users to help them set their goals, but this is a self-directed process where they're creating their own goals.
Thank you. Just wanted to ask about the pilot that you did.
Yes.
What is the first or the foremost challenge that came up, when you had that pilot? Because you talk about what you learn about it.
Pricing. So understanding that, working with a specific set of the population, what can they pay? Interestingly enough, we charged a lot, and they were actually able to pay, and they saw the value in it. But beyond that, the savings automation was something we learned a lot about, and the difficulties around it specifically.
Thank you.
All right, give him another round of applause. Thank you, Darius. All right, give our judges a couple minutes here to tabulate, and we'll have Ms. Deshauna Spencer from Quayle TV up next, and Kylie Summers of Spindet will be on deck. So in addition to doing casting for Shark Tank, I also cast for a new show, Thunderdome. Has anybody watched Thunderdome? Anybody seen the new show? It's like Steve Harvey's 20th show that's on television that he's doing it once. Similar concept, entrepreneurs are pitching in a head-to-head competition, but this time to a studio audience, and the audience makes the funding decision up to $100K. A really good opportunity for entrepreneurs that maybe aren't quite mature enough for Shark Tank, but still have an incredible business or business idea that are looking to get that bump from being on TV, and also looking for some dollars to put into their business to hopefully help them, in some cases, just do their first run of their product, or in some cases, grow their product or scale their business in a more significant way. So definitely check it out, and happy to talk about either of those opportunities with folks in the room after the competition's over. Anybody here an entrepreneur yourself? Yeah, a lot of entrepreneurs. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anybody want to be on the show with Steve Harvey? Steve's a funny guy. Yes, he is. All right, judges, are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay. Deshauna, come on up. Would you like to use the podium or the... Okay. All right. Just give us your name and the name of your business, and then the clock will start. You'll have 3 minutes.
Awesome. Good afternoon. My name is Deshauna Spencer, and I'm the founder of Quayle TV. So Quayle TV is a video streaming service that's dedicated to the issues, stories, and culture of the global Black community. Quayle means truth in Swahili, so our mission is to curate content that's a true reflection of the Black experience. Quayle TV was born in frustration. I was flipping through a bunch of channels, and either the Black women were fighting each other on reality television, or all the movies are the same Black reruns from the 90s in which everyone's trying to get married, trying not to get shot. And I like history, and if you turn it on a History Channel on a month other than February, you would think that Black people played no role in American history. And so I cut cable and got Netflix. And again, all the really great award-winning films and documentaries I read about from Black filmmakers were nowhere unless I traveled to a film festival. And so I cut Netflix and did some research and realized that I'm not the only one who's frustrated. 80% of Black women are concerned with how we're portrayed in mainstream media. 75% of Black people want more independent films, art, history, and culture that speaks to us. A couple years ago, I did a documentary and it screened at a film festival, And the reality is that people of color are least likely to get a distribution deal from subscription services, and we're solving that with Quality TV. Because we curate the dopest independent films, documentaries, and web shows from the entire African diaspora. From North America, Europe, Latin America, the Caribbean, and Africa, all streaming in one space. 98% of our films have been in film festivals. 65% of our films are award-winning. We launched beta 15 months ago, and we have over 15,000 registered users, over 1,300 paid beta subscribers. We have over 270 videos in our library, and we work with over 100 filmmakers from across the globe, half of which are women. And this is just for me bootstrapping and getting no sleep. Like, for real. Our market consists of the 85 million people worldwide who are black and middle class. We already know about the black buying power in America is like in trillions. We already know that some of the fastest growing economies are in Africa. But what you may not know is that outside of Africa, the largest black population is in Brazil. And their middle class has grown 123% since 2000. So this is a global opportunity. The streaming industry has exploded. It's estimated by the end of 2018, over half of Americans will have at least 2 video streaming subscriptions, and globally, over 300 million people will have at least 1. Right now, we're in beta, so most of our revenue comes from subscriptions, but our goal is to diversify that, to also include events and subscriptions, to include VOD rentals, as well as carriage fees. And with the $5,000, we use those funds to create apps. We want to increase our distribution channel. Our goal is by the end of 2018, no matter where you are in the world and no matter what device that you're using, you'll be able to watch our content. So you want to learn more about me and how we're trying to change the game with Black media, come see me after this. Thank you.
Great job, Deshauna. Now we'll have 3 minutes for Q&A from our judges. Estrella, I'd actually love to start with you. I know you got cut off the past 2 times. It would give you an opportunity to ask first if you'd like.
Oh, okay. All right.
pressure.
Who cut me off?
The buzzer.
Oh, okay. Well, great presentation. Just wanted to ask you a little bit more about the revenue model that you were talking about. So
Sure.
how does that work for your profit and...
Exactly. So for live streaming services, the issue is how can you get great content and still make money? And we saw that with Quality TV. So basically 6% of our revenue goes to our filmmakers, which is very similar to Spotify. So 4% goes to us. We're able to help pay people and get more content and increase our profits and use the funding for marketing. So basically we pay them every single quarter. We send them a spreadsheet on how well their film is performing.
Thank you. Ooh, and there's no buzzer.
I'm curious, can you speak more about your operations? What does it look like right now in terms of curating some of the content?
So,
Do you
as
have a
far
team?
as we do, so I'm the founder and CEO.
Right.
We also have a CTO. Before working with Quality TV, she actually worked for 2 startups in DC area, mostly in security because this is the DC area. My chief marketing officer, before starting with Quality TV, actually helped do some political type of marketing, most recently working for the Obama campaign for 2012, doing their social media for the second political campaign. We also have a vice president for communications, and she actually has done like marketing for communications for Dr. Miracles and AARP and a lot of great organizations. One of the things I did mention, because we only had 3 minutes, is that we're going to be starting a news division. And my news director, she's worked for ABC, NBC News. She's worked for the Sundance Channel and BET. So she's also has a lot of experience.
Awesome.
So your distribution plan, so how, I see where you are, so what's the plan to grow it? Because I know you got this big market out there,
Right,
and I
right.
see where you are, and you only have, even though we know that we make out 25 hours in a day, you know, you in 8 days in a week, you do have to sleep. So,
Right.
so what is the plan?
The plan, honestly, is we've done really well actually with social media. We've probably spent like about $1,000 so far on getting social media advertising, and that's how we've been able to get the 15,000 registered users, and just through word of mouth and through earned media. So that's how we've been able to basically get the word out about what we're doing so far. As far as growing that, as I mentioned, distribution channels, our customers are asking for Roku, Apple TV, can Quality TV be in my pinky toe? I mean, I'm exaggerating with that, but you know, our goal is to make sure that we're accessible no matter where people are. So that's why building the apps is so important, because no matter where you are, I mean, if you're in Africa and you have Android, you can watch Quality TV. If you're in Brazil and you have Roku, you can watch Quality TV. And so that's how we're looking to build one app at a time.
And which ones do you have now?
Right now, we're in beta, but we're about to have release a Roku app by the end of this month.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. All right, next we will have Kylie Summers. We'll give our judges a couple of minutes to tabulate. But Kylie Summers from SpinDebt, and then we'll have Hua Wang from SmartBridge Health come up and close out the 2017 Capital Pitch Competition here at the Access to Capital and Telecom Policy Conference from MMTC. Hope you guys have been excited and energized about the ideas that you've heard so far. What have we learned so far? Millennials are broke and need help, and also very finicky about our entertainment preferences. Of course, there's reasons why that we did come of age with that during a Great Recession, and there's debt, in particular student debt, which Kylie is going to talk about, and other reasons, but definitely great to see some incredible ideas that not only apply to millennials, but can really reach a broad market as well. Judges, ready? Okay, Kylie, you want to use this? All right.
Good afternoon.
So just give us your name, the name of your business, and then we'll start the clock.
All right. My name is Kylie Summers, and I am the founder of SpinDebt. Before I get started, how many people in here know someone with student loan debt? By show your hand, wow, that's about 75% of the room. Just like you, there are 43 million people with student loan debt, which 67% are not making payments on time and not reducing those loan balances. So you may ask the question, well, Kylie, what is a solution? SpinDebt is a solution. SpinDebt is a financial technology company designed to assist people to pay off debt, leveraging micro payments through everyday transactions. Currently in the market today, you can spend and save with Bank of America Keep the Change program, or you can spend and invest with Acorn. But we have created a third category, allowing people to spend and pay off debt at the same time. So you may ask the question, well, how does it work? So let's make some assumptions. Let's say you came to our platform, you created a profile, you linked the bank account that you want to pay from, you link the debt account that you want to pay to, you define your micropayment. For today's example, we're going to say the micropayment is $1. Then after that, you begin spending. So let's walk through an example here. So let's say I would go to Starbucks and buy my favorite cup of coffee. It's $5. We define our micropayment of $1. The total transaction is $6. $5 will go to Starbucks. The $1 go to Sally Mae. This would happen every time you have a transaction. Over the course of a month, let's say you have 100 transactions, that's an additional $100 you spend towards your student loan debt. Over the course of a year, that's $1,200 going to your student loan debt. So you may ask, well, it's a good idea, but how do you get the idea out to the market? Well, we'll use platforms like MMTC conference to to tell people about our idea. Also, we definitely want to develop a presence on social media because it's vastly important. One of our indirect competitors, Acorn, they grew from 0 to 650,000 users in 8 months. A third of that growth was done on Facebook alone. We also want to align with strategic partners such as Sally Mae, Navins, the folks that are giving the loans out. You may ask the question, well, how do you make money on this idea? We charge a $1.99 per month up to 25 transactions, or a $2.99 unlimited transactions for our service. So from a team standpoint, I am the founder and CEO, and I'm an electrical engineer by degree. I was the guy that graduated and a year later had $70,000 worth of debt. But in 2015, my wife and I became debt-free. I have a chief technology officer in Quest Taylor. He's helping develop and build out the platform. He's doing an amazing job. And some of the milestones so far, we have a minimal viable product that is functional. And we are finishing up a few things before we launch our first beta. We also was able to sell into Capital One to partner with us on the back end. And we've validated our idea through business plan competitions that we have won. Thank you.
All right, give them a round of applause. All right, we'll have 3 minutes for our judges. Aaron, we'll start with you since you didn't get to ask last time.
Would love to know, how do you keep credit card transaction costs under control? If, assuming I put in $1 every time I buy something, and that whole dollar goes to savings, right? So no part of that is taken out for transaction costs. know, I know I'm paying you guys a fee separately, but how do you make sure that your costs are contained then?
So there are APIs out there that we are leveraging that we don't get into the convenience fees of credit cards, right? The $5 is what it costs to buy the cup of coffee. The $1 is just an additional transaction on your banking statement. So you'll see $5 for Starbucks, but you'll see an additional $1 to go towards your student loan debt, and it'll be under spend that description name. So it's a separate transaction. It's two transactions. It's not one transaction.
All right. Pia, did you have something?
Yeah, you had spoke earlier about capital.
Yes.
Can you tell me what that arrangement or agreement looks like?
Capital One. So,
yes.
Capital One, well, we pitched to over 20-plus processing companies and banks. No one would take the risk, but after relentless efforts, we was able to prove to Capital One what our idea was. We have a non-provisional patent or patent pending process that we created, similar to Bank of America Keep the Change program. And so we was able to show them what our platform could do and what it would do for the next generation of millennials to help tackle this huge problem of debt.
Good stuff. Any other judges? Questions?
And how are you going to get the word out and for your marketing and distribution?
So we'll do event marketing like I mentioned, but we want to use social media ads and advertisement. But also the biggest one is developing those strategic partnerships. So partnering with Navy and Sallie Mae's, the people who are giving the loans out, because we would love to be written in the contracts for when they're giving the student loan out, hey, our product goes with it. And it gives the student or the loan borrower a tool to help pay back every time they go buy their favorite cup of coffee. Because we know one thing for sure, people will continue to spend money until they die.
All right, any other questions? Sounds like you answered them all. Good job.
All right, thank you.
All right, we will give our judges another couple minutes. We'll have Hua Wang come on up from Smart Bridge Health, and she'll close out our 2017 Capital Pitch Competition. I did mention, again, the judges will be deciding on several winners today, but there's also a People's Choice. So all of you here in the audience have an opportunity to pick the People's Choice winner for today. If you want to do that, please download the conference app. Go to the App Store or the Play Store and search for Crowd Compass. Download Crowd Compass and then search for MMTC. It should come up for you. You'll be able to access the conference app, select People's Choice voting. You'll be able to vote there for your choice for our People's Choice Award for our 2017 Capital Pitch Competition here at the Access to Capital and Telecom Policy Conference. Judges, are you ready? All right. So, Wow, you want to use this? Okay.
So just give us your name, the name of your business, and then we'll start the clock at 3 minutes.
Hello, I'm Hua from SmartBridge Health. Raise your hand if you have been impacted by cancer, whether it's you, a family member, or a friend. Over 30% of cancer diagnoses and treatment plans are incorrect. If there's any moment in your life when you want to be absolutely certain, it is when you have a cancer diagnosis. I have lost family members to cancer, and I recalled firsthand the fear, stress, and frustration involved with trying to find the right information, the right team of doctors, and just making sure that my family members get the best care possible. What is our solution? We use the brain power of the world's top oncologists to improve health outcomes for cancer patients. We offer people 24/7 on-demand remote access to leading oncologists for next-day phone consultations and expert second opinions. Our oncologists are trained and practicing at the best cancer institutions in the world, and they have significantly lowered the rates to be on our platform in order to join us in curing cancer at scale. Our big vision is to become the global source for real-time patient-reported outcomes, where every data point and story can be used and reused for precision medicine and to accelerate cancer research. Traction. Our customers love our product. Chiara, the woman there, her doctor gave her 84 clinical trials to research and figure out and try to get into. And she came to us completely overwhelmed. She didn't know what to do. We were able to help her narrow it down to 5 clinical trials and get her into one of the trials where today she has improved health outcomes. We also have leading partnerships. We will be incorporated into the #1 cancer management app with 30,000 users, and Zero Prostate Cancer, the national organization, is partnering with us as a resource for their 100,000 members. The team. I am a former lawyer and healthcare consultant. Dr. Jimmy Force is an oncologist and faculty and was trained at Duke Cancer Institute. Dr. Chris McAuley is faculty at Johns Hopkins and was trained on Penn. And Paul was part of a leadership team that took a startup from idea to IPO. We are the team to get us to our next milestone with hopefully with the prize money from today's capital pitch. That will get us to the 100 customer milestone with which we can be covered by insurance, and that's when we will raise our first round of $300K. So please join us in making optimal cancer care accessible and affordable for all. Thank you.
Awesome, great job. All right, Estrella, go ahead.
Thank you. Good presentation. What's the competitive landscape like? Are there any competition right now that you're?
Yes, there are companies that offer second opinions for all kinds of diseases. We're different in that we only focus on cancer, and we are democratizing access. Our competitor, Grand Rounds, for example, they have a different business model. If your employer is part of the network, it's free for you. If not, they charge you $7,500 for expert second opinion, whereas ours is $299.
Did you say $299?
$299, yes.
How do you make money?
Yes, we are a simple marketplace. We get 70% of our profits back to our oncologists, and we keep 30%. And our oncologists just love what we're doing. They really think this is something that will improve patient outcomes, and so they have really, the money is not the main motivation for being on our platform. It's to really create global impact.
Other judges, questions? Go ahead.
It's actually built today in terms of the technology.
Was built, yes. So right now we have a HIPAA-compliant platform that we can upload the patient files. We have a patient navigator. We were thinking about developing our own app, but we decided not to do that for right now, and that's why we're partnering with the #1 cancer management app today. And then with our $300K raise, that's when we're going to invest in our own technology.
Other questions from our judges? All right, great job. Give her another round of applause. Hua Wang. All right, so that concludes our 2017 Capital Pitch Competition. Give another round of applause to all of our incredible entrepreneurs teaching us how to manage our money correctly, how to pay off our debt, how to not only be entertained but also educated culturally, and also making sure that we can take care of ourselves in the fight against cancer. Incredible businesses, incredible diversity, not only within the entrepreneurs themselves, but diversity in terms of the types of businesses and the sectors that they're operating in. Definitely excited to see the winners in just a second. We're going to allow our judges to stand up and follow Darissa back to the Scott Room to deliberate, to decide the final winners. And while we're doing that, I mentioned People's Choice. If you did not follow my earlier instructions, shame on you, you should have, and download the conference app. Please direct your attention to the screen. You can go to http://crowd.cc/MMTC17, and there you'll be able to record your vote for the People's Choice Award. Again, our judges who are filing out behind Darissa will decide several of our winners, but there will be a People's Choice Award that all of you here today will have the opportunity to pick, okay? Looks like we have a question. It's not a panel, but I'm open to it. Yeah, we can. Sure. So, did entrepreneurs, do you mind coming up to the stage? Yeah, since we're going to do that. Oh, you guys can just sit here. That's fine. You can take the judges' seats. That's fine. Yeah. I don't want
want to make you guys stand, since you had to stand on stage. I'll send him a message. Yeah. But
So my question was, how, I guess I wondered specifically how he's mitigating the risk, because when he was describing his product, I kept thinking of, is he subject to banking regulations? How is he, serving the cybersecurity implications of this product? These are things that I would think investors would want to know, and I wondered how he was dealing with that. But maybe that's also a question for you.
Yeah, I can answer that question. So I don't have a money service business or a money transmitter license, so I can't move money. But that's why I made the statement that I have a partner in Capital One to do that moving for me. So not only are they regulated, but everybody recognized them as a big bank, right? But also we, from a security standpoint on our platform, we have 256-bit level encryption. That's how we build in our technology. So to make sure that we are protecting the consumers that are coming to our platform, but then also the moving the money, we have partners to help us do that are validated in the market.
And so how did just a quick follow-up question, is that all right?
I'll allow it.
How did you come to a point where you understood what regulations you were subject to enough to know what you need to avoid, right? And who you should be partnering with?
Trial and error. The idea started with, hey, I want to start a processing company. Well, I had to have all these licenses. I had to be, regulated in every state. It was just this big old mountain. And I was like, it's going to take too long for me to penetrate that way. So, how do I, find a different path to get to the end goal? And so I thought about partners. And so that's how I essentially got to, partner up with the bank and other processing companies.
All right, looks like we have another question here in the back. I'll get to it in just a second, but I want to applaud you. Thank you for asking that question, because I think for any of you here that are entrepreneurs yourselves, or any of you that are working with entrepreneurs, thinking about entrepreneurship, the question of how to engage or interact with regulation and with policy, whether it's from government or whether it's an industry-specific regulation or policy, is a really significant one. As you might imagine, entrepreneurs, including entrepreneurs that pitch at our casting calls, have a limited resources, including time. Now, Deshauna here can create days and hours in days, but all entrepreneurs aren't able to do that. So when you have a limited amount of time, what do you spend your time actually focusing on? Do you spend it worrying about regulations or policies that may or may not cripple you or completely stop you from being able to prove your business model to an investor? Or do you spend it getting traction in whatever way you can get it? Now, there's an Uber approach that you can take, and Uber would come into places and say, to hell with the taxi cab commission, we're going to come in, we're going to provide this service, and by the time they catch up to us, we're going to be at scale so that we can have leverage in the conversation about how to then be regulated, or how to regulate this new industry. There's obviously other approaches, but it's a really significant question, and something that all entrepreneurs, even if you're not in an industry that's, quote unquote, highly regulated, is definitely something you need to spend time thinking about, but also something that you don't need to spend too much time thinking about, because you have to build traction for your business. But thanks for that question. I think it was really good. I'll go to you in the back, and then you here if we have time.
Question that I have is, you were saying that you go through a vetting agency for your contractors, and I apologize for not being able to hear clearly, but was it 20 years or 2 years for your contractors that they've had to be in service? 2 years. Okay, awesome. Because I was like 20.
Excuse me, it's 2
Okay.
years is like the average shelf life of a
Okay.
contractor. You're right, it's 20 years. There's not, and I don't know why my mic isn't working, but is that better? Perfect. Yes, so NARI is the name of the organization, and that's not a vetting agency, so we don't outsource the vetting. I'm saying that to be a part of that organization, to have membership in that organization, the contractor has to first be in business for 20 years, 0 unresolved complaints with the Better Business over that period of time. and then they have to be licensed, insured, and bonded. So we wanted to start with the top 1% of contractors because we realized that that's probably the hardest part about getting the project done properly.
Okay, and then my second question is, did you ever consider doing, I would say, like on a smaller scale, because my impression was that you did major renovations, but did you ever consider like handyman services? Like I own a home, but as a single woman, like I need to have, say for instance, the faucet came out of the shower wall, it fell off because I've had my house for 6 years. Well, I need to find a handyman to replace it or to seal it, but that's not a major renovation. So did you do the cost analysis of whether or not we're going to look at major renovations opposed to handyman services?
Yep, and that's a great question.
Or are they both involved with?
So right now we are focusing strictly on the major renovations, mostly because there are both a couple of other organizations that can help you with those smaller tasks. One of them, coincidentally, is called TaskRabbit. The other side is that right now our business model, as you guys probably know, it's a lot harder for people of color to raise money to fund their business. So it's myself, Victor, and our last commission checks from before we started the business that are funding us to date. So we figured by going upstream and being able to prove out the model that, one, contractors will pay a premium for our type of service, and then two, that homeowners actually consider this to be a problem, allows us to go downstream very easily versus proving that we can complete small handyman tasks. It would just be saying we're a little bit better than Angie's List or a little bit better than Home Advisor, but doesn't really prove out whether or not the big, audacious goal or the big scary goal is possible. So we won't know whether or not it's the right strategy just yet, but for right now it's been working for us better to keep getting to the point where we can serve all those projects.
All right, great answer. Audience learns quickly. See, she took the Uber approach to asking that second question. She didn't even ask me for permission. Good stuff. One question over here to the left. Nope, this brother had his hand up first. Okay. We'll come back to you. Got to be fair.
Wanted me to run.
Hi, yes. My question is for Ms. Wang. In terms of, I'm an attorney, so in terms of what I heard here, my question with a follow-up question is, do you have to worry about the malpractice issue with regard to your oncologists giving diagnosis, and how do you deal with that? And my second is, how then do you get around the Cancer Treatment Centers of America getting rid of you? Because I can imagine they don't want to hear about SmartBridge.
Sure, yes. So the first question, so I am a former lawyer. I don't practice healthcare law, so I know medical malpractice is a big issue. We do, most of our oncologists, their insurance policies, some of them allow them to do these outside consultations, and it's also a gray area. Kind of telehealth, is it practicing medicine, is it giving advice, and every state is different, and so we're hoping to raise the $300K to get us a lawyer to help us with these issues. And the second question is about Cancer Centers of America. We do think that we could partner with lots of cancer organizations, maybe not the expert second opinions, but we offer the phone consultations and the validated answers. The validated answers where instead of spending hours on Google, you just ask us, and an oncologist will personalize and research the question for you, and you get the answer the same day. Or the phone consultations. We find cancer patients, a lot of times it takes weeks to get an appointment with an oncologist. We match you the next day. And when you do get an appointment with your oncologist, it's only 20 minutes. So we can prepare you beforehand to answer any questions you have and make sure you get the best out of every possible minute when you do see your oncologist.
Thank you. Thank you. Before we ask the next question, I want to make sure, has everybody here voted? Have all of you either downloaded the conference app and voted or gone to crowd.cc/MMTC17? Everybody here? All right, good stuff. Go ahead, my sister. Thank you for waiting.
No problem. Thank you very much. My quick question was for Huang, actually, just to clarify the price model, because I heard $299. I thought you meant $299. Someone else thought you meant $299. I was like, can you just clarify the dollars and cents?
Expert second opinion is $299.
Okay, that makes
Phone
sense.
consultation is $55 for every 20 minutes.
Okay, perfect. And then one question for, I know inclusive and the remodel match, and then also the spend that. I know of competitors that already exist, that are already at the market. They're already in the app store. I've already seen them at pitches. So how do you guys' products differ, or what's your differentiation, or what's, makes your product different from what's already out there?
But before you answer, I know Inclusive is in the program, but he had a death in his family, so he wasn't able to participate. So he's not here. However, our thoughts and prayers are certainly with him and his family. However, I think Spindat and RemodelMate can certainly respond. Go ahead, Kylie.
So there are companies to market, so such as Coins is a company out of Atlanta called Coins. They have about 300 people in their beta currently. And our differentiator is they use a roundup method, so the user don't have any control, where we use an add-on method, meaning the user can define what their micropayment is. In addition to that, you also can set the cap amount on our platform. So if you have a budget, or you set a budget, if you don't want to spend more than $50 a month, $100 a month, you can put that cap amount in my platform, and it won't go over that. And so you can budget inside of trying to help pay off your debt, and our coins can do that.
Is this perfect? Thank you for the question. And the closest competitor that we know of is a company called Pro.com. And the big difference is that they use a bidding model. And so essentially when you post a project, it then goes out to the hundreds or thousands of contractors that are available or have the skill set to complete your project. But then there's a bidding process as to what the price point will be. And what ends up happening is nobody wants to be first, because then every other contractor will continue to undercut you. So instead of you getting to the point where you're able to start the project on whatever schedule you're trying to work with, you're sitting around waiting to get pricing, which is really just a technological version of the same problem. That I don't know how much it's going to cost, I don't know when I can start, and I don't know when it's going to be finished. Versus ours is, I have this project, I'd like to start at this time, and all I need to know is, can you do the project and how much it'll cost? If you agree to that price, then you're able to schedule today, and we facilitate payment as well as making sure the project gets taken through to completion.
All right, good stuff. I think we'll have time for one more question before we'll close out, and then I hope to see everyone in the Washington Ballroom for our awards reception, where we'll announce our award winners from the 2017 Capital Pitch Competition. So again, we're going to the Washington Ballroom right after this final question. I know the sister's already asked one. Does anyone else have a question before I go? Okay, go ahead, brother.
As I finish, Joy. Quality TV. What are some of the what's some of the content that you have on your platform, and who are some of the people and some of the actors and some of the producers?
So our content consists of independent films. The light is like killing me. From around the world. So we basically source our content from film festivals, and so either people submit films to us, or honestly we seek out films from film festivals, and that's how we're able to get our content. So as I mentioned, 90% of our films have come from film festivals. As far as some of the actors and directors, they may not be people you've heard of before. Typically, the reason that I started Quality TV is because if you watch Netflix, the same I love Ava DuVernay, plus Ava DuVernay, it's Tyler Perry, it's Spike Lee, but there are actually thousands of filmmakers of color around the world who don't really get the opportunity to be on like a Netflix. And so the reason we exist is because I want you to discover these people. You won't know them. I want you to watch our content like, wow, that's a dope film. I would not have known about it if I wouldn't have gotten on Quality TV. So we're all about letting you discover content you never heard of before. As far as genres, a lot of times when people think of like independent films, they think of La La Land or something very dry and sad and depressing, but we have everything. We have everything from children's program. We have children's cartoons with little black faces that look like us. We have a sci-fi film called Ojuju, and it's based in Nigeria, won a lot of awards. And it's a zombie film. It's like the first zombie film to come out of Africa. And it really has a social component, too, in which it talks about the water issue in Nigeria, but it really has a really far-fetched, thing that can happen. Of course, no one's going to drink Nigerian's water and become a zombie, but in the movie, that's what happens. And so we have another movie called La Source, and it's narrated by Don Cheadle. It's about a guy from Haiti. He was a janitor in Boston at Harvard, and he heard about the issues when it came to energy and harvesting water. And so he left Harvard, moved back to his hometown of Haiti, and created this whole energy program around water. So we have so many different things, from documentaries, from children's programs, to drama, to comedy. We have everything. And one of the things I do tell people, because I look young, it's for millennials. It's for everyone. So we have, like, Netflix isn't for a particular generation, right? Because all generations, we all going to die eventually, right? Who knows? So I'm creating content, we're creating content that's for everyone. So if you have a 5-year-old that wants a cartoon, you're a 7-year-old, and there's some documentary, some historical documentary, you'll find it there, too. So we have something for everyone.
All right, great stuff. So final question here. I was just informed that this is actually the Washington Ballroom and that there's... So we have a little bit more time since we don't have to transition. The reception will be in the foyer. However, the announcement will be made right here in a few minutes. We will break very quickly after this. I guess my assistant ran out. I'll go ahead and let you ask the final question here, and then we'll break.
Yeah, so, I had a thought when you were talking about the bidding and having a problem with that because, everyone waits until the end. And it seems like the solution for that type of situation is to have a closed bidding system, but maybe I'm off on that. But can I ask Quali TV a question? So that was just a comment, I guess. So my question for you is, I'm not totally sure. It sounds like you're a content provider, but I'm not totally sure how you're making the content accessible to people. Are you an OTT and you're kind of riding on someone else's network? Do you have kind of a white label platform that you use, like Tiki Live or Binge Now? How do you actually get your content out? I wasn't totally clear about that.
Okay.
Sure. So we're currently in beta right now. People can watch our content on the website. And so if you have, go on your phones, on your computers or laptops. And so I tell people typically, we don't have apps just yet, but our goal is to build that. That's why we're here, to try to win some money. But if you have, Apple TV or Chromecast, all you have to do is just mirror, bless you, all you have to do is just mirror your laptop, your iPhone, your tablet, to your televisions. And so on our website, we actually give very detailed directions on how to watch Quali TV on anything that you have, whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, Wii. But yeah, so right now we're not on Binge Now. Our goal is to definitely be on platforms like that, such as Amazon, Roku, PlayStation. And that's why I mentioned that our goal is by the end of 2018 to be everywhere. Our goal is to be like Netflix, no matter where you're in the world, no matter what the typical device that you're using, you can watch our content. We're not currently using a white label provider. A lot of them are startups as well, and my fear is that they go out of business, we go out of business, so we actually built our beta from scratch. We built our beta from scratch, our tech team did, and so that's kind of where we are now. But we're still in beta, but you can go to our website and watch the content and get a subscription, just like Netflix, get a trial, check it out, play around with it. You're welcome.
All right, well, let's give another round of applause to our incredible entrepreneurs, not only for pitching today, but also for answering these questions. Again, we're going to take a short break. We'll have our entrepreneurs come up to the stage and take a couple of photos, and then our judges will come back and we'll make the announcements of winners. Thank you guys so much for coming. Please stick around for the next few minutes.